Hey everybody, my name is Deja and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my Horror in 24 TBR. So Horror in 24 is like a horror readathon. You can read thrillers too though. That is taking place from July 11th to August 3rd. I'm starting this a little bit late because I'm participating in Becca's Bookopoly, which is a 48-hour readathon, and we don't know all the prompts. Like, they come out every 12 hours, so maybe I'll get a horror book on there from this, but maybe I won't. So the first prompt is to read a book with red on the cover. There's literally so many horror and thriller novels with red on the cover. I personally recommend to read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder because that is literally my baby. I love that book so much.
Nobody cares.
Also, sorry the lighting keeps changing because the sun always plays me. I like to use more natural light and then use the ring light over here, so then there's no reflection in my glasses, or at least not as much. But then the sun like always goes behind the clouds, and like North Carolina, just the sun, the everything of North Carolina weather-wise just annoys me. So yeah, anyways. So I'm going to be reading a book that I've been meaning to read for a very long time, and that is Into the Drowning Deep by Margaret. I believe this is written by the person that writes the Wayward Children series, Shauna McGuire. That's it. I really could not remember, but I think that they just used two different names. But this one I've heard so many good things about, and I want to read it so bad. Like, I've been wanting to read this for like the past year. I think the reason that I want to read this so bad is because it's like killer mermaids. Like, the mermaids are what make it into horror, and like me if I was a mermaid, like I would want to kill people too. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if that's just me, but
I hate people. I hate people. People are despicable creatures, loathsome, inexplicable creatures, good for nothing, kickable creatures. I hate people.
I know that this book follows like a group. I think they're like marine biologists. I don't know exactly what they are, but they're going to like the submarine and go down into the Mariana Trench because another group did the same thing like years before and they never came back. This just sounds really good, and I want to see some mermaids kill some people, so I think that sounds great. And then also being in such like a closed in space, like in a submarine, and like water, like if you get out, like things could like, I just feel like it's a mess. Like, being literally at the bottom of a trench, being attacked by something, that sounds horrific to me. Like, I wouldn't want that to happen to me. I also don't have a physical copy of this book, but I am like number 2 on the wait list to get it from my library, so hopefully I'll get it. So the next prompt is to read a haunted house / ghost story, and this I'm reading a thriller. This is also on my Detectathon TBR. This and the next book actually are, and that is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I want to read this because it just released, and I really enjoyed Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, and I heard mostly good things about this. Gwen from Gwendolyn Kinsinger, like, she did not like this, or she didn't not like it, she just thought there was a lot of plot holes and that this was not his best work, but a lot of people say that this is his best work, so I'm excited. It kind of, I know Riley Sager kind of does this thing where he like, there's a literally a ginormous bug outside. I don't even know what it is, but I can see its legs go off its body like this much. Good thing it's outside and not in here, because I don't mess with that.
I'm gonna whoop your ass! Big ass cockroach! Hell no, I'm moving the fuck out this fucking...
But okay, so I was saying that Riley Sager does this thing, which he also did in Lock Every Door, where it's kind of like, is it paranormal, like what's going on, or is it like real people? So this does follow this girl who, when she was younger, her and her family moved into this house, and they only stayed in it for 20 days because it was like haunted or something, and her dad wrote like a memoir about how it's haunted. So then she like obviously reads it, but she's kind of too young to remember really the house, so she goes back to try and like investigate and find out if it's really haunted, because I think her dad dies and leaves it in his will, like the house, to her, even though he doesn't want her to go back. I don't know, but I do really want to read this. Oh my gosh, the bug flew away. That's terrifying. So the next prompt is to read a book with a supernatural creature. So obviously, like, I could have done another book for this, like I could have doubled up, but I'm trying to not double up because I want to read as much horror as possible. The book that I've chosen for this prompt is The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I want to read Grady Hendrix so bad. I also own My Best Friend's Exorcism, which I really want to read. Maybe I'll read it like next month or September. But this book, I know, follows like these middle-aged women. I think that start like a book club where they read true crime, and I think this guy moves in and like tries to join their book club, like moves into their neighborhood, and he tries to join their book club, and he's very creepy, and you know, I'm assuming that he's a vampire and the supernatural creature is vampires. So I really want to read this book. I've heard good things. I think Crystal, one of the hosts, because the host, I never even said the host.
I wasted everyone's time and I feel bad. You don't think I feel bad?
Wow, Deja. The hosts are Crystal from Crystal's Visions, Rains from Booze and Vines, Marcy from Marcy Reads, and Carol from Carol Marie Reads. But I know Crystal has read this and I've heard good things about this, so I really, really want to pick this up. And I don't know why, I just love this cover. Like, yes, like peaches, okay.
Shut the fuck up. Nobody even wants you here.
So the next prompt is to read a Gothic horror novel, and for that I'm going to go with Mexican Gothic, which this book just came out, and I've heard pretty good things about this. I think I heard like 1 or 2 people say they didn't like it, but a lot of people really like it. So I know that Mike from Mike's Book Club liked this, and I think he gave it 4 stars. So I really want to pick this up, and it's quite short compared to Home Before Dark and the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, but I'm super excited. It has Gothic in the title, and it was marked as horror, so that's why I'm going with this. I honestly don't know what this is about, and this cover, stunning. Why is my book squeaky? That don't even make no sense. How's a book squeaky? Okay, well, you see, like, this cover is literally stunning. This also has red on the cover, I'm just saying. And the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires has red on the cover with the little blood. So that's what I'm saying, like, you could double up if you wanted to with these challenges, but I'm trying to be extra, as usual.
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness? Do you think you do?
The next prompt is to read one of your favorite childhood horror / spooky books, and to be honest, like, I didn't read horror when I was younger because I've always kind of been interested in horror and like more of like the scary things in life, but even so, when I was a kid, I was a chicken. I'm still a chicken now. So this book isn't really horror, but to me, when I read this in 4th grade, it was spooky. So that is The Witches by Roald Dahl. I don't know why I found this so spooky, but I think it's like the illustrations, like in the style, is creepy. Okay, like why? Her face, she took her face off. Like, ma'am, okay. Definitely want to try and read this one for this prompt because this is like one of the books I distinctly remember reading, but I do also own a Goosebumps, which I think I read when I was older, probably like in middle school, because as I said, I was chicken, but I like wanted to experience a Goosebumps, and this is Night of the Living Dummy. Okay. Really? Look at how washed out I am now. Really. This one really out here playing me.
Real fast, fuck you, dig ass, bitch ass, hoe ass, bitch ass.
But the next prompt is to read a psychological horror, and I wasn't sure like what is considered psychological horror, and this one actually could count for like read a haunted house / ghost story, but I decided to read it for this prompt because it did come up as psychological horror when I was like looking up lists and stuff, and that is The Haunting of Hill House. See, look, now it goes away. But yeah, so I want to read The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I started watching the show, and I think I watched like 1 episode or something, and I just wasn't that intrigued by it, but I definitely want to read the book and then watch the TV show because I feel like once I read the book I'm going to like it. And it's pretty short. It's like less than 200 pages, and I've heard really, really good things about the show, so I think that the book is going to be good. I think one of the hosts actually recommended reading this, and I believe it was Rain. Maybe it was Rain and it was Crystal, I'm not sure, but one of them recommended this. I think that this one will be a nice short little one to experience. The next prompt is to read a book that's been on your TBR for a long time, so like any horror book that you've been wanting to read, and for that I'm gonna go with Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I actually bought this in September or October of last year, and I've been really meaning to read it, and this also has red on it like a little bit, and I know the other edition has red text, so this could work as well. She's a little bit chunkier, but I really want to get into Stephen King, and the Constantly Reading Book Club, I think is what it is. I know Crystal is one of the hosts, and I think Carol Marie is also one of the hosts, but they are going to be reading it in August, and I think I'm going to participate, even though I told myself I wasn't going to read that for literally like years, but like literally when I see a book club read a book and I have no interest in the book, I'm like, maybe I should read that book. I'm going to try and read this month, and it is a short one, and I know everybody loves Pet Sematary. I don't even know what it's about. The only thing that I know is it's about this guy that moves his family to like a new house, and I think there's like this graveyard or something that's like for pets, and like creepy stuff starts to happen. So I think if I read this month and I really like it, I will probably try and read it, because like they're reading it for the book club and I want to be part, okay?
And you should always give in to peer pressure.
But what if someone bad tells me to?
Always.
I'm really excited to pick this up. And actually, when I picked this up in September or October, we went to UNC Chapel Hill, my newspaper class, for like it's called Journalism Day, and then we went to the like bookstore afterwards, and there was some Stephen King there, and I was like, which one should I get? My friend who's read a lot of Stephen King told me to get this one because this one's her favorite, so that makes me want to read it even more. So the last prompt is to read Survivor Song, which is the group book, and I want to read this so bad because I've heard good things about Paul Tremblay. If I have time, maybe I'll read The Cabin at the End of the World. It's also really short. There's a lot of horror that I own that I really want to get to, but this is also the book club book for Booktubers and Brews, and I really I'm excited because I think Gabby from Gabby Reads is also going to be reading it and being in the live show with us, and I will fangirl because I love Gabby so much, and just yeah. But this book I know is an apocalyptic book about a virus. I don't know if it's necessarily like zombies, but I believe the main character is pregnant, so she has to like protect her baby too, and I'm super excited for this. It just came out. I went to the bookstore and they didn't have it, so I'm kind of mad.
Make your mind up. I'm gonna whoop your ass.
So I have two other books that I quickly want to mention. As I said, I already own The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay, so I might pick that one up as well. But I have some other books that are like thriller / horror that I would like to get to. So I have two of those, and the first one is The Troop by Nick Cutter. I was debating on putting this one or Pet Sematary for like the book that's been on your TBR for a long time. But I've heard such good things about The Troop. I know that this book, out of all of these, would probably scare me the most because it has like creepy body horror, like worms underneath your skin, like I don't mess with that, but I think that this one is actually going to be scary to me. And I know this is about like sorry if you can hear birds, I guess they're just having a good old conversation. You know what, we love to see it. So this follows a group of like Boy Scouts, like Cubs, I don't know what to call them. They go to this island off the coast of Canada, I believe, and this man shows up and he's like, I'm hungry, and like he's being all weird, and then I don't know what happened. I've only heard people give this like 5 stars, and people say this is like one of their favorite books of the year, so I really want to get to this. So the last book that I'm going to mention I really want to read, and it is a thriller / mystery. I told you guys, if you want to read a book with red on the cover, to read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and this one's actually the second one, and that is Good Girl Bad Blood. I really just want to read this book because A Good Girl's Guide to Murder means so much to me, and I want to read the second book, and I've heard really good things about it, so if I don't get to it, I'm gonna be sad. Like, I really want to read it in July, but yeah. Now that I'm done with the dramatics, I guess I'll tell you what A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is about, and then kind of tell you a little bit what this one's about. But the first book follows this main character, Pip, and she's a senior in high school, and for like her senior project, she decides to investigate this murder in her town because she doesn't believe like what people believe is the truth is actually the truth, because there was no trial or anything like that, and that gets explained throughout the book. And it's sold in a mixed media format because there are entries of like her journal for the project. This one's also mixed media because we again follow Pip, but we follow a different murder, and like Pip basically got famous off the first murder, and she has like this podcast, so we're following the podcast. And so the mixed media format is like the podcast and like, I don't know, like this kind of stuff. I'm not trying to spoil, I don't even know. But I mean, I read A Good Girl Guide to Murder in like 24 hours, so I feel like I could read this one in like 24 hours too. So those are the books that I'm kind of hoping to read for Horror in 24. I kind of went over the amount that you should, but do I care? Not a bit.
Like, do I give a fuck?
No, not one.
How many fucks do I give?
0.
Exactly. So therefore your comment is irrelevant.
So I want to hear what you guys are going to be reading for Horror 24 as well. So if you are participating, let me know down below. If you guys have read any of these horror books that I'm talking about, let me know on a scale of like 1 to 10 how spooky they are. So that is all that I have for this video today. I'll be linking everything for the hosts down below, including the recommendation videos, because they put out some really good recommendation videos. But yeah, I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments below. As I said, tell me if you read these, tell me if you're participating, what are you reading? That's what I want to know. And I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.
You always posting up pictures, trying to look like you winning. I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking in moments we live in, yeah. You got the nerve to be on me, faking your life for the IG. If You got my number, don't add me. Cause baby, I'm on